What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliott Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about how to get out or at least prevent becoming a friends with benefits. Ladies, once you're in there, it's very hard to get out, and the reason is he is getting all these assets at a very good, bargain, right? And for you to convince him otherwise, meaning, okay, well, why don't we do this? There's going to be fight back, right? There's going to be a little bit of push. So it's a lot harder to get out of it than it is to prevent it. So we're going to talk a little bit about both. Now, jumping into this, the number one thing, I kind of just mentioned it, but I do have to say this as like the foundation, the groundwork is you have to try as hard as possible to not get in there in the first place. And all the rest of the things we're going to talk about are ways of doing that, but I do really want to emphasize this point. Women, you have to understand, okay, that what you guys have is a situationship until you frame it as something different. Now, what do I mean by that? When you're talking to a guy and he says, let's see where it goes, and you agree, you're out. If he says, I'm newly single, I'm not really looking for one, but the right girl comes along, yeah, I'm open to it, you're out. If he says, I'm anything other than, yeah, I'm looking for the same thing as you, yeah, I want a relationship, yeah, I want to settle down, anything like that, great. Other than that, it doesn't work. Now, I'm sure a lot of you would say, Elliott, I don't want to say that in the beginning. It will push a guy away. Two things on that. Number one, it'll scare them. Number one, you're not scaring or pushing guys away. You're filtering them. If a guy truly wants a relationship, that would not scare him. Number two, to prevent that, even if it did happen, is you have to focus on what I call premise. Now, premise is where you have the job opening, like the spot open. So an example of this would be if I have a business and I have a job interview open to a lot of people who could fill the role, okay? Right? That's what you want. I have this job opening. It doesn't necessarily mean for you, though. What you do, though, and you all do it over time, whether you know it or not, is you show and create intent, meaning I want this relationship with you. And that gives a guy a lot of power, right? That gives a guy a lot of power. And you might not think it means anything now, but when he slowly leads you down the path of friends and benefits and you start going along with everything, hopeful that it's going to change or hopeful that it's going, down the path that you want, you're blindsided by it. You don't realize, oh shit, I got in here because I was acting like an effing idiot and I didn't do the shit Elliott says in his guides or his videos or whatever. The reason a lot of you get in the situation you're in is you wear your heart on your sleeve. You think more emotional than logical. One of my famous quotes, it's not famous, but one of my most said quotes is, the problem women have today is you desire a man so much that you fear losing him to the point where you lower your standards to keep him around, hoping things are going to change, and then he takes advantage of it, okay? So we're going to prevent that. How? You have to frame what you guys have as something potentially moving towards a relationship, not seeing where it goes. Yes, that's logically true. Seeing where it goes is what's happening. But you have to say you're looking for a relationship because seeing where it goes is not a destination, okay? That's number one. Number two, there has to be a balance of courtship. Ladies, you can't just go over his house and bang and do this and do that. Even if you don't bang and you go over his house and you guys are cuddling and hanging out. Like, it's what I call the barrier of entry. If I can get the same, results by asking you to come over and hang out versus taking you out to dinner, which one am I going to do? I'm going to do the easier one, the path of least resistance. Why? Two reasons. One, I don't want to go through all that shit, if I don't like you as a girlfriend. Number two, you got to understand humans are very resourceful. we are always trying to save on resources. That's how one of the ways you know, or that's one of the best ways you know if a guy actually likes you. He is consistently investing his resources into you over time. If you want to prevent friends with benefits, you have to be courted. You should not be giving him anything unless he has earned it. This means consistently investing his resources over time. Time, energy, effort, money, and it's in that importance. The first thing you want is his time. Okay, the last thing you want, I'm not saying it's not important, but the last thing you want is money. Now, why is that? Because I guess time and effort. You want a lot of efforts. But money is infinite. Money is always going to come and go, and it's very subjective too. A lot of people, if you make a lot of money, you have no problem flying someone out. You have no problem paying for dinners. You have no problem buying hotels, buying her things, doing nice gestures like flowers, whatever. It doesn't matter. Money's infinite. It will come and go. Time does not. Everyone has the same, no matter who you are, that's the equalizer. You have the same 24 hours in a day, you have the same 365 days in a year, and we're all going to effing die. So if you have a guy investing a lot of time into you, especially if he has money, that's a good thing. But there's always a give and take. Like if a guy has a lot of money and not a lot of time, he's going to give you money, right? Or he's going to spend nicer things on you sometimes. Vice versa. If a guy is like a broke college student, he's not going to spend a lot of money on you. He's going to spend a lot of time with you. Now, if he doesn't have a lot of money and he's still spending money on you, that's a good thing. Either way, you have to be courted. If you're not, he's going to take control of it. And trust me, there's going to be a very low barrier of entry and you're going to get stuck with the bill. Okay? That's number 2. My light just went out, so bear with me, everybody. Number 3. Do your detective work. What does this mean? You're not going to change a man who has a faulty past, okay? I'm not saying those men can't commit. You're just statistically probably not the girl who's going to change this long psychological path of destruction that he has been having, okay? So if the guy has been single for years and years and years, you're not the girl who's going to come in and change that. If the guy is newly single, you're not going to be and you're the first or second girl he's dating, you're not going to be the girl he's going to jump in a relationship with. He's newly single, okay? Again, goes towards the path of least resistance. If I'm getting the assets and I'm unsure about a relationship because I just got out of one, why would I jump into one? What benefit would I get jumping into it that I'm not getting right now? Women got to understand this. Was he cheated on in his relationship? Now, these guys are more likely to commit other than the other filtering things I'm talking about, because that's not really his fault. But for some reason, women talk about emotionally unavailable men, and usually men are always almost always, I'll say 80% of the time, the reason men are emotionally unavailable is it's because of the woman. He gets cheated on. He has bad experiences with women. He's not good with women. He lacks self-esteem with women. He has a lack of options with women. I'm not saying it's a woman's fault besides the cheating part, but it's always correlated with women. That's why a man is usually emotionally unavailable. But you have to do the filtering, because if a man doesn't want a relationship, I always tell my clients this, just because a man doesn't want a relationship doesn't mean he wants to kick you out of his life. It doesn't mean he doesn't want you there, because there's still assets to obtain. So if you're talking to an emotionally unavailable man, well, you're not getting the relationship, so why are you guys still fucking talking? You're right? It's only going to benefit him. This goes back to what I was saying. You have to be courted. You're giving this guy all this time, which is very valuable. You're giving this guy all this time when he doesn't even want the same thing as you. You're losing power there, okay? So make sure to do your detective work. Find out when his last relationship was. Has he ever had a serious relationship? Was he cheated on? And all those type of things. Because again, if he ain't going to give you a relationship, you shouldn't be in there. Ladies, you're not going to be the one who changes his mind. You're just not. And ladies, if you're having trouble with all this and you want to know what men think, what men want, what men commit to, male psychology, especially male dating psychology, please get my guide absolutely free. Hey, There's pictures in there, man. I don't know if you guys can probably see that, but look, there's pictures and diagrams and everything. Let me show you a diagram, hold on. Because you're all probably like, ooh. There's just so much, oh, down here, you probably can't see all this, but look, there's so many things here, okay? Absolutely free down below. Now let's get right back into the video. Number 4 is follow structure. I say it in almost all my videos. It bears repeating though. I apologize, but without structure, there's chaos. There is a way this man and woman dynamic is supposed to work. If you play the game correctly, it's going to benefit you. So I'm going to list off a couple things that I think, like what I mean when I talk about structure, have my editor put it up, okay? So the examples of this would be things we talked about already, which are framing this as a relationship. Always investing less but reciprocating, okay? Having him do things first. So an example of this would be, you know, he can ask you on dates and he can pay for dates, but then there's nothing wrong with you being like, hey, let me get this date, or asking him on one since he's asked for a lot. Guys do like that. Going at a safe, correct pace. If he's going really fast, you know, you gotta slow it down. It's not even so much what you say, it's how you react to it. You know, you don't respond as fast. You don't get into the frame that he's creating. If he's being really flirty and really fast and talking about cuddle and stuff, like, don't go along with it. That's another one. Don't have sex early. You would think you all would know that, but don't have sex early. You will automatically be thrown into the friends of benefits if you do that. And of course, he has to earn your time. The most valuable thing a woman can offer is who she's intimate with and her time. And I guess like emotional support and stuff like that. But in the beginning, it's her, when he's trying to win you over and court you, it's sex, because, well, if he doesn't have to court you and he gets that, that's great. But obviously your time, okay? You just don't give that to anybody. So without structure, there's chaos. You have to have these things in place over and over and over again with every guy you're talking to come out on top. And lastly, kind of just said this, he has to earn those sugar walls, meaning he has to earn to have sex with you. This means a guy has to consistently invest his resources into you over time, okay? And the longer it takes, I'm not saying make a guy wait forever, but do not sleep with him before the 4th or 5th date. Have a guy court you. Have him actually like you for more things than just sex. Well, a lot of women will come to me and they'll be like, oh, Elliot, we would have sex, but it wasn't just that. We would cuddle and talk and hang out and open up to each other and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, no. Until he's your boyfriend, it's just sex, because that is a good price for him to pay. If I have to sit here and listen to you just yap, I know this sounds insulting. I'm just telling you what guys think, not me. But if a guy has to sit here and listen to and just talk to a girl to get his dick wet with a girl who is not his girlfriend, right? Or he's not in a relationship, that's a good price to pay. So at least he should invest in you consistently over time, so you can see, okay, you know what, this guy isn't that bad of a dude. This guy, you know, may actually like me and what we have, or the chemistry. It's fun. This guy's fun. Now, again, could he be doing that for sex? Yes, absolutely. But I always tell women, you don't lose playing things out. You lose jumping in too early. Okay, so play it out and make an informed decision based on the information you're getting. So with that being said, ladies, please check out that guide. If you want to work with me, link down below. I can solve all this and get you in a relationship, no problem, guaranteed, right? Just click that link and we'll go from there. Ladies, I love you all. Take care and peace.